Hey, Sane, how you doing? No problem, man. No problem. I'm glad I was able to get it set up. It went, I would say, pretty smoothly. Pretty smoothly. There's still a few things we need to sort out. I can't figure out how to get modern classics in there. Because I know the other DLC, like the Big Bud Pack and that sort of thing, there are tabs for that inside the server. But I don't see anything for modern classics. And it's not a mod. It is a DLC. So it's not in my mod folder. It's in my DLC folder. So I don't know what the fix is for that. I don't know how to fix that, but figure it out. I figure I just kind of chip away at it, you know? Ernie, what's happening? How you doing, brother? I figure if we just kind of chip away at it a little bit here and there between now, I don't know, maybe between now and the weekend, now and Sunday, everything hopefully will be sorted out. And we've got plenty of room for mods. I'm glad we went to 5 gig instead of 2.5. It just opens up a lot of possibilities. Right, so let me bring this right down here, and I think we're ready. There we go. So we are in username or password incorrect. Okay, I'm going to be in here for a minute, but as soon as I'm done, I can take a crack at that. The other thing is if Owen or Fred are around, they might be able to do it before then, but if not, it'll be till the end of the stream, so about 2 hours, if that's all right with you. All right, and we're at London Gatwick, and this is stand 562. I always start on stand 562, and it's because of VATSIM, and we'll talk quite a bit about VATSIM as we get rolling here. This is going to be my last flight in X-Plane without VATSIM. From here on out, anytime I stream X-Plane, we will be in VATSIM, but I wanted to do one more without it, just to confirm a few things, and I don't know, make sure everything is cool. So we are in the Rotate MD88, and I did put a more contemporary livery on it. I had that 1980s livery. That had to go. It was fun once, but everything's got to be branded in my world. You know that. So new skin, we'll hop right in here, and we will get started. So first thing we do is get on battery power. Right there. Now, can you see my cursor? I don't know if you can or not, or if you're just seeing these switches sort of operating in the background. If you're not seeing my cursor, let me know. I might be able to yeah, a little bit, Saint. I'm I'm a little bit over the top when it comes to that stuff, but you know how it goes. Cursor, yeah, let me know if you can see my cursor. Fried, what is happening? Oh, no worries, Ernie. I'm sorry that didn't work. I don't know what I did wrong. I've already lost the plot. Let's get a checklist open then, because these planes are no joke, man. Parking brake is set. Battery on and locked. Position lights. Those are way over here. We got to make a long arm. Position lights on. Emergency exit lights arm. And no smoking on. Shouldn't be smoking anyway. Oh, thanks, Ernie. I'll get to it as quick as I can. Let me see. And what is next? So request GPU. That is down here. We get this little book open. Request GPU. And that puts, if we hop back outside, that puts our little start cart up front. Yep, right down there. So we've got ground power in the aircraft now. Cover your ears. Autopilot. There we go. We get those on. And those are on. Cabin attendant, 6 feet of blonde. 6 feet, that's a lot of blonde. I don't know about that. Playing FS19 with the new G20. How are you liking it? Fried, I've never tried the game with a wheel. I've always been on gamepad. And next thing will be start pump, but we're going to hold off on that for a minute because we need to get some fuel on board. Get that process started. Oh, and before I forget, I always forget this. Let's go up top and let us get our nav starting to align. That takes a few minutes. Yeah, I don't blame you, Saint. But the thing is, it's proportion. It's not the aggregate length. It's the proportion. I've seen some very petite women that have legs 7 feet long. Love it with the wheel. I've heard that. I'm tempted. I am. I'm tempted. We got to get Avitav open here. And if we go to charts and then we go to Gatwick and then we open our operational flight plan, we go right down here and they've got us on 10,517 liters. So we open our little book here again and we're going to put 10517 in here. Pardon me while I tap 10517. We're going to do 60 passengers in the front, 60 aft, and we'll do about a half a ton of cargo in all 4 of our cargo holds. So we get those right there. Get those right there. Look back over here, and our trip fuel is 3577. So we put in 3577, right? That gives us all that. And then if we flip to the next page, start the fuel loading, open the cargo doors, and start cargo loading. And we can expedite that. If we run out of things to do and these still aren't done, we can just expedite those. Right. Let me read the chat. Don't worry, Saint. Priorities, yo. I understand. If I were you, I'd really consider it. Yeah. Owen was just kind of telling me the same thing the other day. He's saying it really works for him. The only thing I worry about is in stream, I worry about how loud it would be. But other than that, yeah, I'm tempted. And I mean, something else is my wheel it's a race wheel. So it's more or less the wheel, the actual wheel rim itself is just about vertical. And I feel like if I was driving a truck, I would want my wheel to be, again, there's that OCD. I would want my wheel to be not quite horizontal, but close. And I would want it to be bigger. I want that big old bus driver wheel. If you're going to throw somebody under the bus, you need a bus driver wheel. Okay, Gatwick information 136525. So we'll go down here to the pedestal and we're going to dial in 136525. 525. And we get nothing. We get nothing. Why do we get nothing? Let me see what we're missing here. See if we get this going. And we'll get that going as well. All right. Gatwick. Pardon me while I load my weather. Gatwick comms.
Altitude.
Jesus.
Altitude.
What is happening right now? 136525. Yep.
Altitude.
Really?
Altitude. Altitude. Altitude.
Game. Sweet Jesus, stop it.
Altitude. 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 Altitude.
Ooh, close one. All right. Bear with me. I do not have a shifter. I use paddle shifters. I completely forgot what I was doing. That weirded me out terribly. 136525, Gatwick ATIS. Let's take a look down here. 136525. Okay, well, it's not giving it to me, but I can get it manually. And pardon me, when you see the camera pan all the way over like that, it's because I'm looking at my other monitor. So we've got QNH of 1017. We'll go back over here and get this set up. And I'm super scattered right now. So I forgot several things before I started. 1017. Okay, that's done. And I think we may have IRS by now. So let's bring these up. Let's bring these up. All right. And is that right? 192 feet. 1017. That can't be right. 1017 puts us at what? 900 feet of altitude? That seems something's wrong here. Something's wrong. Okay. But we will figure it out. What do I need to do? I need to go down here and get this in. Here we go. So we are at Echo Golf Kilo Kilo. Put that right in there. Copy that. Paste that. Route. And we're still waiting on IRS. Okay. So we are going Echo Golf Kilo Kilo to Echo Golf Papa Fox. Goes right there. Flight number Tango Papa Golf 313. That goes right there. We're departing on runway, pardon me. Departing on runway. Hang on, look at my other monitor here. Departing on runway. 26 left. So we go out 26 Lima. Drop that right in there. And our first waypoint is going to be Lima Alpha Mike. Now, the last time I did this, I said I do these things like I know what I'm doing. I feel like I do know what I'm doing now. Then we're going Lima 10. Lima 10 to Bravo Papa Kilo. Bravo Papa Kilo was my street name when I was in the gang life. I don't tell a lot of people that. Uniform November 601 to Rival. Romeo India Bravo Echo Lima. Right in there. Activate. And still waiting on IRS, so we'll give that another minute. And what else can we do in the meantime? We can, let me see how we're doing on fuel. Fuel is almost done. Gonna wait till fuel is all the way loaded before we start loading passengers, but we can expedite cargo and passengers once we have the APU up and running. Something about the idea of having passengers and fuel, I don't know. I don't feel great about it. What else? I can tell you this while we're waiting too. I got SAM running. So when we go to airport operations, we do have gates now. Is there anything I haven't done? I mean, I've done a lot. It's been a very interesting life. It really has. I mean, and that cuts both ways, I have to say. I've missed out on a lot of things because I've been doing so many other things, but you know the old joke. I didn't spend my high school years getting an education. I spent my high school years having fun and getting drunk and chasing girls. So, you know, yes, that is a good thing, but not necessarily when you're planning your retirement. So these gates now, at any airport that has them, these gates will come over and actually connect to the aircraft. You can set them up that way. And there's even a setting where you can draw your power from these as well. Sort of hit or miss. And it doesn't work on aftermarket scenery airports. Some of them have their own gates built in, but normally at this gate, 562, I do get the gate right up to the aircraft, and it definitely adds to the immersion. All right, and we are still, come on now. We are still waiting on IRS. I think we just got it. Did we? I mean, it's flashing. IRS not aligned. Abid. Gabe, what do you need from me? So these are flashing. They are on nav. We did put a value in there, did we not? So if we go here, IRS not aligned. I mean, we'll give it another minute and we'll see what happens. What else can you do? I can tell you about, I know what I'll do. I'll tell you about VATSIM while we're doing this. I don't know what the delay is. I mean, it takes a minute. It doesn't normally take this long. And it looks like, if we go up here, yep, looks like it's still cooking away. Okay, cool. Saint, were you able to log in to download from the server directly? Because if not, it means I screwed up the accounts for both you and Ernie, and I'll have to try that again. You were able to get in? Okay. I'll send Ernie's password again. Confirm that he's able to get in, or reset it, or do something. So VATSIM, yeah, there's an event every Wednesday. That's another reason I didn't stream yesterday, and I've been super busy with a lot of stuff, but that's one of the things I've been working on is VATSIM. And that Gatwick Mania every Wednesday is perfect because it's all English. And I'm comfortable with accents, and I've flown in Finland, Sweden, Holland, Germany and Russia. I am comfortable with the accents, but I'm more comfortable with, right, plain native English. Yeah, I don't. This is taking too long. It doesn't normally take this long. Let's see if we can expedite this. Yes. Well, I am. I think they are as well. Go back here one more time. So if we go here, yeah, that's all the way across. I don't know what the delay is. Let's see if we can. Speed the plow a little bit. All right. Other than that, I don't know. All right. Fuel is on board, so we'll start loading passengers. We need to open our door. We need to deploy our steps. There those go. Yeah, I think we're good, Saint. I'd rather just use the ones from the website, and that way we don't have any private mods. Like, nobody's private mods are floating around, and we don't need to worry about any overwrites or anything getting lost. I do appreciate it, though. I mean, I'm not using my edit. I've got a more realistic edit that I'm not using. All right, it says that is aligning. I feel like something went wrong, because normally it does. Yeah, normally it does start aligning, and then it blinks. So if we go back here, position. Yeah, I don't know. We could try this one. Put that in. Yep. It says no. All right, we'll just give it another minute, and I don't know. This is what we'll do. VATSIM. VATSIM is what I was talking about. So I've done about... oh, no worries. No worries, Fried. I've done 5 flights now, and all of them have gone really, really well up till, well, several of them I got all the way through the landing. A couple of them I did not, and it's on me, but I think I'm doing okay so far. The thing that really, really grips me about VATSIM is how, particularly at a busy airport like Gatwick, how absolutely on top of everything you have to be. Every instruction, everything, you've got to know exactly what they're telling you, and you have to do it correctly immediately, or you cause this ripple effect, sort of traffic jam behind you, tailback. It's not cool. It's not a good feeling. So I've been trying to avoid that, and fortunately I'm able to get out of the airport and get on my way. I felt really lucky about that. But I have had some problems on approach. And typically what I do is when things are starting to go south, I just disconnect, which means to everybody using the service, I essentially just disappear, right? And then I'm not their problem anymore. So I think I'm comfortable enough now. I don't know what is going on with this. I think it could be because we introduced weather after. Yeah, that could be it. I think I turned the weather on after we were already aligning, and that essentially moved us. That moved our altitude. Oh, man, I don't want to restart. How long have we been going? 22 minutes? I may have to restart. I hope I don't. If I do have to restart, I'll expedite the fuel loading, and that'll save us 15 or 20 minutes. We'll more or less pick up where we left off. Right. Can we... No, it's not going to give it to me. Okay, so let me do this. Let me go to the main menu. Flight configuration. Change location. EGKK. London Gatwick. Stand 562. Yep, that's the problem. We're on stand 562. There we go. We're on stand 562, and it is showing us at stand 49. It's got us on the other side of the airport. So what that's doing is it's messing up the ability of the IRS to find itself. Okay, no problem. Ernie, I'll get you sorted out. The other two that I created worked, so there's no problem in the like the naming convention or anything that I did on the front end of it. It's just what I sent to you has to have an error in it. So I'll track it down and we'll get that sorted. I apologize. And everything's still going good over here. Stream health, good. All right. Yeah, sorry about the delay, but it wasn't going to let us align till we started over. Okay, so we are now back where we were. And let me see. Interesting. Okay. So some of these switches are, you know what I'm saying? Not where I left them. All right. So we'll call for the power cart.
Autopilot.
Yeah, it left these in the position they were in before. I hope now when we look up top. Yeah, it's got these. Man, I don't want to. How am I supposed to fix this? All right, and then if we go back down here, we're on 1017. That stayed the same. Okay, this may work. It may not. Man, it kept everything. It just moved us to a different stand. What is happening right now? Yeah, this is really weird. I restarted, but it didn't restart. You liking Shellington? All right, on. I kind of want to take a look. Kind of do. Okay, it's got us on my regular stand that I use. So we'll see. Either it's going to align or it's not. So let's go here. Drop that in. Did it keep the route? Yep, kept the route. Okay, so we'll see if that lines up. Now, do we still have our fuel? Yep, kept our fuel, kept everything. And we need to finish loading those two. All right, it's always something. It's always something in this game. There we go. That's where we're supposed to be. 170 feet, not 960. All right, there's flight director. Doing self-test. I think we'll be okay here. I hope. Yep, fried. It's all ready. And we are on. Yep, we're on. Outside power. All right. So start pump on. Fire up the APU. Go outside for that. Just because I like the sound. And I can have some water. Hell yeah, man. They don't call it the king of beers for nothing. Beautiful. Love it. So watch our exhaust gas temperature come up here. In fact, we can see it better from here. We're looking at this one right here. APU is up. So we'll come back here now. We'll go on APU power. Right. Turn on our right rear fuel pump. Exterior power off. And then we'll come back down here and dismiss our start cart. There you go. All right. And we'll just keep hoping, keep our fingers crossed with the IRS alignment. What do we got up top? Still working. Okay. And what else can we do? We got rid of that. We got rid of that. Got rid of that. High pressure bleed both on. It's a little bit misleading because it says high pressure bleed off, but that's the odd position. I don't fully understand it. Galley power, we want on. Windshield anti-ice and anti-fog as required. I'm going to turn them both on because it is winter. IRS mode, both nav. Yaw damper on. We want... Is that on or arm? We want on. All right. Is that right? Yaw damper. On. Nav light radio. We want this at 20 feet of altitude for Glasgow. And right now, pardon me, I gotta turn my head here. Right now in Glasgow, it is 30.24 on the barometers. So we'll crank this up right about there. Right about there. No, Saint, you don't have to download the save game. That will stay on the server. And it will be, it's like a library function. Anytime anybody's in the game, whatever they do will be kept in that save game. Fuel used reset. Fuel used reset. Hydraulic pump 1 and 2 both low. So that's going to be right here. Hydraulic pump 1 and 2, takeoff condition 0, 0, transponder 2000 standby mode. There we go. We got a IRS. I was really hoping we'd have to do all that again. Okay. So performance. And for this, we do need to, we'll go ahead and expedite the rest of this loading process, even though there's only a minute left because we want our fuel and passenger and cargo weight to be all final. Retract the stairs. Close the door. All right. Back to the FMS performance. Here we go. So fuel schedule, gross weight. Reserves are going to be 2.5. I know because I've been flying this flight regularly. 50. Cruise altitude. It was 32,000. Let me see if they have us at the same altitude. So that's going to be right over here. Looks like 30,000. I love that these are different every single time. You can generate flight plans for the same route 30 minutes apart, and they'll be completely different because of the weather. Cruise wind is going to be 273,005, 273 at 005. Goes right in there. Top of climb, minus 53. Minus 53. Top of climb. Transition altitude will be, if we go back here, Gatwick. Departure. We're going out on the here we're going out on the LAM 6 mic. So if we go here, we want the LAM 2 X-ray. Come on, LAM 6 mic. And we've got transition altitude of 6,000 feet. That goes right in there. Execute, takeoff. Learned something very important about this aircraft. Outside air temperature is, look over here, my other screen, back up here. Gatwick, weather, 3 degrees. So 3 degrees, right there. And we will get V1, VR, and V2 right now, but we're gonna reset these before we take off. I'll tell you about it in a minute. Okay, so departure is gonna be departing runway 26 left using the LAM 6 mic, execute, and then arriving in Glasgow, ILS runway 5 via the RIBE 1G and the GOW1 transition. Done. Back here. We should have one. Yep, right there. We've got one discontinuity. Resolve that. And we'll also check going out. It's kind of a tricky departure. So 220, 220, 250, 250, 32.4, above 3,200, below 4,000, 17,000. Yeah, that's wrong. So we've got 5,000 here, and then we've got 5,000 here, and in between the two we have, yeah, these are all wrong. Stand by. So 250, we got to be 250 or below 10,000. So yeah, software doesn't always work. And then 250 right in here, 250 right in here, and 250 right in here. All right, so execute that. And if we look at this whole departure, so we will be, this is runway 26 left, right? Hey, gameplay. What's happening, man? How you doing? So if you look at runway 26 left, as soon as we hit the end of the runway, we're going to be preparing for this 180-degree turn. Maximum 220 knots. I was told yesterday, while I was in the air, I was told the reason the speed limit is so low is because this turn is so tight. It's easier to make it at 220 than 250. So all the way through this turn, between 1,500 feet and 4,000 feet, when you go into it, between 3,200 and 4,000, when you come out of it, all under 220 knots. And then once you get to Delta 29, you can bump up to 250 knots, 4,000 feet, 5,000, 5,000 all the way through here. Delta 10, you go to 6,000, and then at Lambourne, they turn you loose and you can resume own navigation typically, although last night they kept me flying on some vectors for a minute. So that is the takeoff. And I think we're ready to continue moving on here. I love this stuff, by the way. I don't know how much you're into this type of flight sim, but I love this stuff, man. I could do this all day. Some days I do. All right. Turn these up a little bit. It is going to be getting darker. Back up top. Turn some lights up here. Back to the checklist. Transponder is set. So we're going to go right here. This is for our FMS. That is all done. APU bleed air on. Right? High pressure bleed 1 off. Pneumatic crossfeed valves, left and right, to open. Those are both open. Doors all closed. Throttle idle. And we are ready for pushback. Been playing Kerbal? It's a great game. It's different, though. It's definitely different. All right. You can see how often I leave stall 562 because my better pushback is all set up. And we want, we're going to start pushback, and we should get our tug. Where's our tow? There they are. There they go. So, VATSIM. I was talking about VATSIM earlier. So, I really love it. But it is, it's incredibly immersive. It probably, I would say, adds like 10x to the immersion. However we quantify immersion, whatever standard we're using, whatever metric, it really, really bumps it up. As realistic as all this is, VATSIM is like this, just the level beyond the next level. It's amazing, and I love it. However, there's a tremendous amount of pressure because if you screw up, you're ruining somebody else's good time. When I was taxiing last night, in fact, I'll show you. It's right over there at the end of Alpha Quebec. Somebody was taxiing, and they were, myself and another aircraft were taxiing. I was waiting for that aircraft to pass me right to left. So I was waiting, and they stopped. And when I looked then to my left, in front of the aircraft that I was waiting for to pass, there was another aircraft pointed directly at it. And of course, you can hear everybody's comms. You can hear everybody on the radio. And this person was saying, I think I might be lost. But in the meantime, this other sim pilot and I we were just waiting. And the quicker you can get down to the hold point, the quicker you can get out of here. It's like any other traffic jam. You know, if you get caught in traffic at 5 minutes after 7 in the morning, you'll be 10 minutes late. If you get caught in traffic at 7:15, you'll be an hour late. So the quicker you can get down there, the quicker you can get out of here. So little details like that really can mess up somebody else's good time. Okay, galley off. After forward fuel pumps on. So we turn all these on. High pressure bleed, both off. So that is off. Hydraulic pumps 1 and 2, both low. Transfer on auxiliary on. Hop back over here. Position and strobe lights. Long arm, both on. ACL on. Right there. Flight director on. That's right there. Bank angle to 15. Right. Heading runway track. Not set, but we can do that while they're doing their thing. So this is going to be 258 and 258. 258 out there. 258. This will be 32,000. Right, like so. This will be, I'm going to make this 185 for now. I know that the tug driver wants me to be starting engines right now, but if I, oh, pardon me. Oh, God, the triggers. The triggers on this game are so small. I'm about to come out of the booth right now. Jesus, just, there you go. All right. There's parking brake. So we got one more up here, and that is this one. Hang on, I can do that with this. Go here, and I believe I can do that with this. Yep. So that is going to be 258. 258. Okay, and now we're ready to start engines. Yeah, Fried, I think I am going to stream some Kerbal. I mean, I don't know what it's going to look like, but I definitely want to. That's all set, so we can go to our next here. Call and start pushback. Did that. Ignition to A. And we're going to start number 2. Here we go. So, I guess what I'm learning about VATSIM is... Aw, he's sweet. I guess what I'm learning is, I mean, you can fly into any airport you want, and the chart that I'll be looking at when we taxi it's identical to the chart that we'll bring up when we're getting ready to land in Glasgow for our taxi. So that does help, but I feel like having flown out of this airport half a dozen times now, I'm beginning to like, here we go, there's parking pin, so we're good. I'm beginning to understand like the structure of the taxiways and just be able to get around more efficiently. And I think that's really key to not ruining somebody else's good time. That's the best way to describe it is, you know, other people are, if they've only got an hour to fly, you know, they don't want to be stuck behind you while you're screwing up. So I want to be aware of that, but give it. Oh, God. This is an amazing aircraft. But the triggers are they're so tiny. All right, flight recorder off. Come on now, I just turned it on. All right. And we got fuel for number 1. There's number 1. But after today, anytime we fly, we will be flying on VATSIM. It's going to be tricky to do it because all of this stuff everything just becomes so much more fast and intense. Even at a crowded airport, like during one of those events, which Gatwick has every Wednesday. Ignition off. Engine start. Turn these off. When you're at one of those busy events, even getting clearance on the radio is difficult because there so many people need to get on there at once. APU bleed air off. APU power bus left and right off. Turn both those off. APU off right there. Galley power back on. Ice protection to the captain. Hydraulic pumps 1 and 2 will go to high. Like so. Pneumatic cross-feed valves left and right. We'll close these. Okay. High pressure bleed, both auto. That's back up top, right here. And then we'll come down here. Speed brake is armed. And now we need to do takeoff conditions. So that is right down here. All right, Fred. Thanks for stopping by, my friend. I appreciate you. That is right down here, and it's going to be under takeoff. So our center of gravity is 7. This is unique to this aircraft, and it's a little bit tricky. So we got 7 right there, and then our flaps are going to be 11. And take a look at this value right here. So earlier when we calculated V1, VR, V2, it gave us these numbers right here. V1 is your rejected takeoff speed. If you're going to reject takeoff, it has to be below this speed. VR is when you rotate the aircraft. And V2, I believe, relates to your climb out with one engine. Oh, MFRA. There's a lot to learn about aviation. Go figure. So keep these numbers in mind. 146, 151, 158. We go back to the pedestal. And when you dial in 7 for our center of gravity and 11 for our flap setting, because we have flaps at 11, we're going to set our long trim. How do you get which game, Thomas? What game are you looking for? And this aircraft is modeled so accurately that this process takes forever. Just like in the real one.
Stabilizer motion.
X-Plane 11, I got it on Steam. I believe it may be a standalone, like you can get it from the Laminar store, but I personally got it from Steam. All right, so that's, right, see what we did? Brought the long trim down and set it to where this green arrow is, and the green arrow is determined by these 2 little dials over here. Right, so now we go back to the FMS. Because we deployed the flaps, when we set these numbers, they will be lower because we didn't have flaps down before. So it was giving us like a rotate speed based on a clean aircraft, no flaps out, no slats. So, yep, details. I'm learning about it. All right, so we go back up top now. Takeoff condition is set. Flaps auto brake selector is back here. This is like, I don't know if you know this, but I got a little OCD and I am autistic. This is like a drug for me. Thomas, I want to say it's about $50, $60, but it does go on sale. Seatbelts on. Right, like so. Nose light to dim. Right there. Timer, I set that just before we take off. Parking brake will be released. And so there's a thing was added to the aircraft. Well, starting right about the era of this aircraft. But if we go down here and just bang the throttles open for a second and then close them again, there's a sensor in there when the throttles pass a certain point. It will sound an alarm if you have anything not configured properly. And what it's designed to do is if you're on the runway and you begin applying takeoff power, and as an example, you haven't deployed the flaps, it will tell you before you get up to, many knots, many miles per hour. Weather radar, weather and TCAS, which is anti-collision, transponder to TARA, that is right down here, right? TCAS test, we're not going to do that. Transponder to above, right? Back here, and we are taxiing. Here we go. So Navigraph made a huge difference. I got it because of VATSIM, right? Everything has to be identical for everybody. So all my waypoints, all my charts, my flight plans, everything, it's all got to be made to the same standard. And Navigraph unifies all that via Jeppesen charts. That's what we're looking at right here. This is a JEPI chart. So these are updated, I want to say about every 6 weeks, 8 weeks. I got Navigraph because of VATSIM, but I don't think I'll ever fly without it again. I feel like you need it. And being able to get around the airport with being able to see the taxiways in real time. So we've got a little moving red airplane here. I couldn't do this before. And being able to do it now, like I said, I don't think I could ever go back. So last night when I was getting ready to take off, they told me taxi Quebec Alpha, which is the taxiway we're on right now, and hold at Lima, which is the one crossing in front of us perpendicular. So stopped right about up in here somewhere. You don't want to stop right on the line because wings, basically. Aircraft have those great big wings. So you need to stop a little ways back. Navigraph, yeah, it's $10 a month or like $100 a year or like $300 for a lifetime membership. So I just went with the $10 a month. I imagine I'll be sticking with this, but it's well worth it. It really, really is. So typical taxi for me, because I always start at the same gate, and I'm doing that deliberately because I always want to have like a good starting point. I think I can branch out at some point later, but for now, yeah, it's ridiculous what I'm spending on this game. I bought 6 planes and they were all like $80 a piece. It's ridiculous. And then I haven't bought any airports, but the airports are like 50 and 60 a piece as well. Right, so this is Lima, and my taxi is always going to be Quebec Alpha to Lima, but the way these taxiways are set up, they just give you a string of numbers. So they would say taxi Quebec Alpha, Lima Papa, hold at Papa 1. All right, but the way that they're set up, if you're wondering whether to turn left or right, just look at the order they gave them to you. So if they tell you Quebec Alpha, Lima, hold at Papa, you look at the chart and you can see where Papa is, and you know the only way to get there is if you make a left turn. Trial and error, Thomas. Trial and error. I love sim flight. I like aviation in general, but I love sim flight, and I just do it offline. I do it in SP, make mistakes, and then start again. It's insane, Ernie, what people spend. And the thing that gets me, I think more than anything else, are the rigs. Yeah. Yeah, that's me. All right, so we're going to turn, and now there's these little signs. So there's that little P right there. That's indicating this is Papa. And there's a reason pilots keep binoculars in the cockpit with them. You know, it is initially, Thomas, but this was my biggest, what we're doing right now, honestly, was my biggest concern was getting lost in an airport. And it's funny because I don't, but every night when I'm on VATSIM, and I don't mean I'm on VATSIM every night, but it feels like every time I'm in a session on VATSIM, I hear somebody get lost taxiing, you know? And that's, I don't want that to be me. So I try to take it seriously. I really love it. It's so much fun, but I do try to take it seriously, both for the immersion, you know, because we're sort of LARPing, but also because I don't want to ruin anybody's good time. Saint, my military call sign, when I'm in a milsim, my call sign is Reaver13. But I didn't want to cause any controversy, so on VATSIM, I'm Tango Papa Golf 13. TPG 13. I had a controller the other night ask me if that, I don't want to be controversial, but he asked me if it was referring to something else. And I was like, no, man, that's my name. Your name is TPG? Oh, listen, boomer. It's my street name. All right, and then if you look down here, I can't zoom all the way in, but if you look down here, you can see these little lines. Like we're in the little red plane, we're getting to these lines here. So this one directly in front of us would be the Papa 1 hold. The one to our left would be the November 1 hold. So when they tell you taxi and hold November 1, etc., they just want you to go there and stop and wait. You know what? I hear you, Thomas. I'll be real with you. I've been up and I've been down in my life. And it's always that way. I think for most people, it's always that way. It goes up and it goes down. But you'll get there. All right, and we are taxiing to Alpha November. And I know I'm going really slow here, but I'm trying to stay right on this center line. I'm trying to be accurate. If I'm going to LARP, you know what I'm saying? If I'm going to LARP, I want to LARP. And this is... You're on a game spending ban? Yeah, I hear you. Oh, if you're only a kid, don't even worry about it. Oh, you're not supposed to have money. Not yet. All right, so this is... and the way the signs are set up, here's another trial and error. The sign indicates the taxiway behind it, right? So we've got, where is it? Right there, Alpha November. That means you're coming to Alpha November. It's a little confusing because I thought it was referring to the taxiway that you were crossing when you saw the sign, but no, it's the one behind it. All right, so right through there. And this is, typically this is the taxi they send me on to bring me down from stand 562. Hey, you know what, Thomas? Everything that I've learned about flight sim in the past 6 months since I got back into it, I've learned from YouTube. Particularly a guy called Flight Deck to Sim. He's super, super cool. And he does a lot of straight up tutorials. He does a lot of flights and just fun streams, but he does a lot of tutorials as well. All right. So this is the Alpha 3 hold. We were so stacked up last night. There were probably 20 planes waiting to take off. They spaced them at 2-minute intervals. So 20 planes to take off means you got about a 40-minute wait. All right. So that's the Alpha 3 hold. And then they're going to, I'm just role playing it. They're going to bump me up to the Alpha 1 hold. And as we're getting up here, we'll do a few more things. Transponder is set. We're going to turn our nose light on. Try to keep the aircraft centered. So before they tell us to taxi and wait, right in here, get the last of this done. Right. We want EPR mode to flex takeoff. We want ignition switch to both. Met a Delta pilot at a hair salon. Hell yeah. Nose light bright, EPR mode. That's it. So here we go. We're going to roll up here. We can get rid of this now. We don't need it anymore. We're going to roll up here. This would be taxi and wait. The other thing that's crazy is when they do those VATSIM events, everybody wants to go to an airport that is fully staffed and is having an event. So aircraft were landing as well. So when it was my turn to taxi and wait, they told me, Tower told me, taxi and wait behind the arriving Airbus 320. And when you look in the distance, you can see there's another plane 4 or 5 miles away behind that. So you need to get on the runway, get your ass out here, get all situated, have all your ducks in a row, and then you need to take off before that next plane gets here. All right, so there is toga power. We'll start the clock. There's a clock right there. Is that everything? I think it is. All right. Here we go. I see you, Thomas. Let me fly the takeoff, and I'll tell you about the 747. All right, there's 80 knots. V1, rotate, gear up, flaps, autopilot, heading select, climb on the EPR, VNAV, track flaps. Here's this crazy turn we need to make. So if you look right down here, it wants us to make this 180-degree turn to the right. Hey, Navi, how you doing, brother? So just as we get to this waypoint here, start our turn. Here we go. While that's happening, come up here, disarm the speed brakes, continue our turn. If I can find it, give it. There it is. And we're going to come down here. Crank that over a little bit more. We're going to come down here and disarm the auto brake. Turn these lights off. And I think we'll be just about ready to go on our nav. So that was a little bit grippy right there, what I just did. Doing it with like a crowd of people watching you and aircraft landing behind you and planes that are waiting to take off behind you and the whole deal. It is absolutely nerve-wracking, but it's so much fun. All right, turn some engine anti-ice on. And there is LNAV. Beautiful. All right. Do I have a 747? Yeah, the game comes with X-Plane, both X-Plane and Microsoft Flight Simulator 20 come with a 747. But honestly, I don't really enjoy flying it. I don't find it to be a whole lot of fun. It's like it's too big. Forgot the trailer? All right. You know what? I can pick up some other things while I'm back there. I needed to go back anyway. So there is the 747. I personally don't like flying it. It's too big, and it's not really super well developed in either sim. I don't know why. And there are some aftermarket ones. No worries, Saint. Catch it on the VOD. There are some aftermarket ones. There's one made by it's something simulator group. I don't know, SSG, and that's supposed to be really good. But I'm just not into it. Yeah, it's an amazing aircraft. It really is. Well, it just got dark, too. Fantastic. And we'll be landing in Glasgow before it gets full dark. We'll be landing about 4:15. All right, so right now, that ruckus you can hear with the engines. So if we go down here, so right here, as we fly from waypoint to waypoint, our speed is going to be at 250 because we're under 10,000, and we're going to climb to 5,000 and hold all the way out of this pattern. So if we go back here to... don't need that anymore. If we go to our departure, right? So we just took off, right? We made that 180-degree turn, and now we're going to cross these waypoints. They're all programmed into the computer, so it's going to guide us across these waypoints. We were at 4,000 feet. Just now we're climbing to 5,000 feet, and then we'll make this big turn. And then once we cross Lambourne, they'll cut us loose. So, yeah, again, I mean, it's sort of trippy to do this. Seatbelts to auto. I'm just confirming everything's done. Oh, we got to turn our pumps off. It's sort of trippy to do this just solo, right? Just single player. But it's really like a whole different kind of, I don't know, buzz to do it with people around you. Because you don't want to screw up. I got pride problems. I admit it. But also, like I said, I really don't want to ruin anybody else's night. So I put all that together, and I really don't ever want to fly without that sim. So there we go. That's us out of Gatwick, London. And we'll make our turn here. God, look at the pollution from this thing is definitely built in the 1970s. Yeah, Thomas, there's something called shared cockpit, where two players with the same sim and the same aircraft, there is a plug-in you can get where anything that you or I do in the cockpit will impact what the other person sees. So if I'm in my cockpit and I turn this light on and you're in your cockpit on the other side of the country or wherever, you would see this switch going up and down as well. If I can do it. Come on now. Really? There we go. You know what I mean. So one of you would be in the co-pilot seat, one of you would be in the pilot seat, and you would actually do the things that a captain and a first officer do on a flight. Yeah, super fun. There are a lot of just Google or YouTube, like X-Plane shared cockpit. And what will happen is like people will stream both sides of it. You'll have simultaneous streams, one from the captain, one from the first officer. And you can, I don't do it. I don't do it, but you can simulate failures as well. You can either simulate them as a role play, or you can tell the game to randomly create failures. And then as a team, as a flight crew, you have to deal with that emergency, whatever it is. So yeah, man, there's a lot of ways to make this super, super fun without anything contrived. Like, I'm not a fan of I don't know, like bolted on missions. You know, you have to fly to every airport in Paraguay and then you get a little trophy or something. That just feels tacked on. But the idea that you and somebody else could fly together 10 trips and have no problems, and on the 11th there's a bird strike during takeoff and you lose an engine and you have to deal with that. And I like that. That's something I would be interested in doing, definitely. God, I can't believe the black smoke coming out of these engines. Rolling coal in the MD88. I love this plane though. I do. I've got I have this McDonnell Douglas. I also have the 757 and 767 now from Flight Factor. I have the Zebo 737, and I have the TOLUS A319 and the TOLUS A321. So I would say all the Boeing jets are in the middle as far as like complexity and difficulty of flying. They have a lot of automated systems, but not completely. And then the Airbus is on the far side of that, where nearly everything is automated. I can see my house. And this is the other direction from that. The plane was designed in the 1970s. It's got a lot of very analog systems, very manual systems and functionality. So I think that's what I like about it. Plus, nobody flies it. And did I mention pride problems? But yeah, man, I'm loving this sim. $50? Yeah, that's about right. It does go on sale, though. You can typically get it. I mean, there was a big sale before the holidays, so I would say probably not for a minute, but within the next, I don't know, couple of months, it does go on sale all the time. But well worth having. And I'm on a 1660 Ti. You don't need to be on a rocket to play it on really high settings. I'm not on ultra, but I'm pretty high. And I have a few enhancements using something called Active Sky for my weather, which brings in real weather. It's got, I think they said 250,000 reporting stations all around the world. So the weather that you get when you're in the sim is typically very, very accurate to real world weather. And I made a few investments in hardware, but I haven't built my flight rig yet. And this has really just been since Microsoft Flight Simulator dropped. I had plenty of other sims to stay busy with, and I didn't think I would be getting into Flight Sim. I played DCS a little, but I really didn't think I'd be getting into Flight Sim. And I did. I do. I've got a Logitech 3D Extreme Pro Extreme, Pro. I don't know. If you combine 3D Extreme and Pro in some combination, that's the model name. But it's totally consumer wear. It's like $30, and it works. It works for landings, which is typically what I need the flight stick for. A little bit on takeoff. Once we get in the air, it is a lot of button pushing. But I have to hand fly the landing, so you need a joystick for that, and that works fine for it. I'm planning on getting a Virpil, but that's quite a commitment. I'm dreading it. And if I get a Virpil for a flight stick, I would want to get a Virpil throttle and a couple of Virpil button boxes, and then you have to get special brackets, and right, you know how that goes. That buzzing sound is our long trim adjusting. So we're climbing to 6,000 feet now. Right down here, going to 6,000. When we get to 6,000, we're going to standard altitude, which is 29902. When it said transition altitude, that's the point at which you set your altimeters in the aircraft. You set them to standard altitude, which is 29.92. And it's because altitude changes. Oh yeah, we're on autopilot now. Because altitude changes so much as you go up and down, not the height of the plane, but I mean the atmospheric altitude, the pressure, because it changes so radically. Once you get above a certain altitude, you just set it to a standard. And know that all aircraft above that threshold, their altimeters are set to the same standard. So if I'm at 6,000 feet, everybody else will be at 6,000 feet as well. Yeah, I just hand fly the takeoff and the landing when I'm IFR. In small planes, in little general aviation planes, I'll fly those by hand the whole time. But for a commercial jet, just for passenger comfort, it's better to let the software fly it. It's been that way for a long time. I even found there's something called CDR. I heard some pilots talking about it, and that is continuous descent angle. And what that means is once we get to TOD, which is top of descent, our descent from that point all the way to the runway should be as smooth and flat as possible. Because if we're constantly like descending and then leveling off, we have to spool the engines up, and that makes noise. So it's one of those things you don't really think about it because those noise abatement rules have been in place for like 40 years, 50 years. So most of us have never heard it, but it used to be like in the jet days. So this is a turbo fan. Is that right? Hang on, go out here. This is a turbo fan. It's a turbo jet. So when we say jets, we're talking about this whole aircraft, right? But specifically, it refers to a jet engine. And planes like this today don't have jet engines. They have turbofan engines, which are significantly quieter and they make a lot less pollution. So if you look at a plane taking off from the 1960s, 1970s, it just makes this ear-shattering roar. Yeah, they need them because actual jets, like proper jets, are unbelievably loud. And they also make these massive plumes of black smoke. So turbofan and turbojet, very different. And fortunately, most of us have never heard that noise. But if you're spooling the engines up continuously as you're descending, it makes a lot of noise for people on the ground. So CDA is like a really big deal. And again, it's sort of your skill as a pilot. You know, how well are you able to smoothly and consistently descend the aircraft so you don't have to keep doing that? And the software does it really, really well. So typically, I'll just let the software do it. But I was talking about something else, something. I can't even remember. And I think you can get a hush kit for these engines. This is the CD something. Stand by. Let me Google. If I go right here, MD88 engines. It's like the CDM, CDW. I'm not even close. Not even close. Pratt & Whitney JT8 Delta. And then later they were equipped with the JT8D217. Yep. Low bypass turbofan introduced in 1963. Inaugural flight being on the Boeing 727. Yep, modification of the Pratt & Whitney J52 turbojet, which powered the U.S. Navy A6 Intruder. So, yeah, jets are a lot louder than fans. All right, and we're climbing now. We passed that last waypoint, and that cut us loose. We're going up to 30,000. Is that right? They got us at 29. Are we ever going to 30? Yeah, we're going to 30 eventually. All right. And it's just pretty quick flight. If you look down here, I'll try to zoom in as close as I can. So right sort of in the center of that lower display, you can see where it says TD. That's top of descent. And it's really, easy track IR. It's not far at all. It's, I'd say, about an hour flight, maybe a little bit over an hour. But we'll be landing right around sunset, which is my favorite time to land. And I want to practice this landing one more time, and then I think this is just going to be my regular Wednesday flight on VATSIM. But I've flown Gatwick to Glasgow. I've flown Schiphol to... Oh, no, I flew into Schiphol. From where? Copenhagen to Schiphol. I flew from Helsinki to Moscow. I'm trying to think. I did one other flight. But, yeah, really liking VATSIM. I think it's probably the most fun you can have on any type of desktop sim, not just flight sim, on any type of desktop sim as far as an immersive kind of LARP experience. I've been throwing that word around a lot, but I think it fits. I'm coming to terms with it. I'm accepting that we're all LARPers now. We're all digital LARPers. All right, cabin pressure and elevation. We'll check this one more time right over here. We're 20 feet there, and there. So that's good. And then we'll go here. Descent, we're good there. Okay. That's it. Put your feet up. Have a cup of coffee. And I'm going to, let me do this as well. I'm going to hop outside. All right, Thomas. Thanks for stopping by, my friend. I appreciate you. No worries. Catch it on the VOD. And I try to stream X-Plane like once a week. Either X-Plane or Flight Sim. I got Flight Sim uninstalled at the moment, but I may reinstall it. Right. So right back in here. Oh, I also practiced a hold earlier today. You know what? I'll do a hold when we get to Lannick. I'll do a hold. I wasn't sure how complicated it would be. I didn't know if I could do it. You know, I wanted to practice it offline just to see, and it went really, really smoothly. A lot better than I thought it would. So I'll demonstrate a hold, and that was one of the last things that I needed to learn. I've never been diverted. I don't know what that's like, but I guess, I mean, on this one, we don't have it, because if we go to route, yeah, and we just get legs, route data, yeah. On some of the newer FMS, you can program in your alternate, and it actually calculates out a flight path to your alternate, I guess, based on where you call for it, where you divert, whether you get all the way to the airport that you're intending to land at, and for one reason or another they can't land you, or if they close that airport before you even get there. I believe you can just punch in your alternate, and because it already has it in there, it calculates out your waypoints. And I mean, ATC is going to be vectoring you if they have to divert, but just to have it in there anyway. Other things like best speed, best clean speed. Everybody that was flying into Gatwick yesterday was being told lowest clean speed, which is the slowest that the aircraft can safely fly without deploying slats and flaps. And some of these FMS have a calculator built in where you just hit a button and it tells you the best speed for the aircraft, clean, right? No extra surfaces deployed. All right, we were descending there for a minute. I don't know how I feel about that. There you go. Continue climbing. But I think I'm going to stick with the MD80, and I think I need to stick with certain routes. So I think Gatwick to Glasgow is going to be a weekly route for me, just because of the Gatwick event that they have every Wednesday. And I know there's a couple others. I tried Denver to Seattle, and that went really, really well till I was on final. And the whoever was handling approach was, they were a little yelly. And I was kind of gripped to begin with, so I went offline. And I don't know what the etiquette is of that. I don't know if it's best to, like, in a crowded airspace like that, if it's best to waste everybody's time by saying, you know, I'm going to disconnect. Just, I don't know. You don't just want to, like, leave the party and nobody knows you left. You want to, you know, hey, I'm going to go ahead and take off, and this is why. But when it's busy like that and everybody's like really communicating very quickly and sort of intense, I feel like it really could be distracting, or waste a few seconds that somebody else could be communicating information to ATC. So I don't know what the etiquette is, but I just dipped. Didn't want to, but I figured that they're either going to send me around or I'm going to crash the plane. So I don't want to do either. And that was a fun flight. It was super, super crowded. Anytime there's an event like that, it's just unbelievably packed. So many people, so many aircraft. And it really is fun to try to sort out problems that you don't have at a more sort of wide open airport, wide open airspace. And I didn't know that I'd be able to find airports to fly in and out of at all, because I felt like every time I looked, there weren't any airports that I wanted to fly into or out of. But I just went to the events page, and it's like every night there's a dozen events around the world somewhere. All of them, unfortunately, right mid-afternoon for me, which is when I stream. So I need to sort of pass on some of those so that I can. And we got engine ice on, so that I can do the stream, which I don't mind doing. But if I could do the stream at 1 and then fly an event in the evening, that would be my preference. All right, I'll show you one more thing here. So we're coming up on this little green line here is where we'll actually get to 30,000 feet. And then where it says TC right there with the dot, that is top of climb. That's where the software has calculated we'll get to the top of our route. So the software is trying to get us as close as possible to 30,000 feet right at that point. And then the green half circle indicates where we'll actually get to that point. So we're a little bit under where we should be, but not a big deal. And when I was setting up the FMS, I did program in a cost index, which is different for, all right, and our center fuel tank is empty. Yep, it's just about to be. There we go. So I'll turn off these 2 pumps. And that, yep, takes care of that annunciator. And then from here, yep, 10 minutes maybe. And we'll start descending. But yeah, I do love it. I wish I could do this every day. But there's so many other titles I got. Oh, hey, Thomas, welcome back. There's so many other titles. It's, a month ago, I was all about Hunter Call of the Wild. I couldn't think of anything that I wanted to play more than Hunter Call of the Wild. And I wouldn't say that I played it out, and I still do hop back in there. But I don't know. You know how that goes. You kind of get, I don't know. You get out in front of it. You get enough hours in a game, and you get the. I just had to eat. You get enough hours in the game that you are going to go back to it. Hang on. Flute music. What is it with Spotify and the flute? I won't stand for it. Yeah. You know what? In Sim, Ernie, those are the best. They really are. They feel a little bit silly because you do all this prep work. And it feels contrived, right? That you get to top of climb, you set everything up for cruise, and then you immediately start setting up for descent. But I think those are the best flights, because this right now, it's not just boring for you. It's kind of boring for me. Now, with VATSIM, there would be a lot going on right now. But of course, we're not on VATSIM. So this is as boring for me as it is for you. And flights where you hit top of climb and then immediately start descending, those really do work the best for me. The trick is finding cities that are exactly that far apart. It's like going on a long drive. Yeah, it is. It is. And I mean, I left in Hunter Call of the Wild, I deliberately left 4 maps completely unexplored. I've never even been to them. When do I land? It's going to be about another 20 minutes to half an hour. I left 4 maps in Hunter Call of the Wild. I didn't even go to them. I went to Africa, but I just stepped out of the spawn point, took a look around, and I haven't explored them at all. And I did that deliberately Belfast International to Glasgow? It's Gatwick to Glasgow. Oh, I'm sorry, Ernie. Your flight is Belfast to Glasgow. I got you. Okay. Sorry, man. That was rude. Let me correct you when you tell me something that is true. But I did that because I don't want to burn out on Hunter Call of the Wild. I really, really like that game. And I don't want to burn out on it. So I've left some things unexplored. Just so there's, I don't know, something to go to next. All right, so we're at 30,000 feet, so we can do a couple other things. I hate when I do stuff like that. Social faux pas. All right, we're going to go EPR to cruise. That is right there. Transponder direction to normal. That is here. And then we're going to go up top. Engine sync. N1. Cabin pressure and landing elevation are set. They are both set. All right, aircraft is configured for cruise. We're well above the clouds now, so I'm going to turn off. No, I'm not. Because we're not that far above them. So the rule is visible moisture in the air below 10 degrees. You want to have engine anti-ice on. It's 23 below right now, and we're close enough to these clouds. Oh, Thomas, you should check out Flight Sim. It makes this look like 8-bit. It's crazy how good Flight Simulator looks. So yeah, we're going to leave engine ice on. And we're also going to, let me heat the fuel a little bit. We got fuel heaters in this here plane. And if we look right down here, we'll see the temperature start to come up there, center of the screen, 7 degrees, 8 degrees. Let's keep things from getting all gummy. All right, so that is cruise checklist. There we go. And we won't need anything else until we start our descent. Hop back outside. Yeah, my system's not even super, super good, but the way that Flight Simulator 20 looks is, it kind of makes my head hurt because it is so, so pretty. Volumetric clouds, the way the terrain lays over everything. And I did fly to my condo, right? Which is, I guess, something that everybody who bought Flight Simulator, you got to fly to your house. I flew to my condo, and it looks like a movie of me flying past my condo. I don't know how they did it. It's a little bit creepy, but it's like the actual building with, right? With the skywalk to the next building and the courtyard and the trees and everything else. It is unnerving how good it looks. And I think that's all generated. Well, it's got to be generated automatically because it's not like an artist went in and created that stuff manually. So, yeah. Yeah, avgas is intense under any circumstances. It's just super purified gasoline, isn't it? It's like triple filtered gasoline till it's clear as water. Stuff's kind of scary. Oh, and it's like 150 octane. I love this little plane. I really, really do. I don't know what it is about it, man. It's kind of hokey and kind of 1970s, but I just love it. Let's do a flyby. Here we go. Gotta go. All right, we're nearly at arrival right now. Whoa. I saw myself doing a flyby out of the corner of my eye on my preview, and it scared the hell out of me. Yeah. Maybe I'm gaming too much. Yeah. It's sort of like race gas. It's sort of like race fuel. It's almost not of this earth. Oh, here we go. Clouds are breaking up a little bit. Nice. And I believe the timing, I'm going to be landing at exactly the same time on this flight as I did the last time I tested this leg. And that was 4:15 local time, 16:15 local time. And the sunset, the lighting, the clouds, everything was just absolutely perfect. So I do like to fly at night, but I know you really can't see anything. I was watching Flight Deck to Sim stream yesterday, and people in the chat were giving him grief about it. I love air museums. I love them. And I really like how big and primitive military aircraft are, even fairly recent military aircraft, because you can't waste any weight, right? So there's no padding, there's no comforts, there's even some of the safety systems are removed to save weight. And when you see the way those planes look, they're just so utilitarian and so purposeful. And particularly the stuff from like the 60s and 70s, because I think they're giving those away now. Like if me, you, and Saint wanted a B-52, we could probably just go ask for one and they'd give it to us. There you go. Here's the keys. Here's the manual. Sign here. Get it out of here. So those are, like every air museum in the world has a B-52. All right. And we will, now I'm going to put my hold in at Lannick, and I can show you that. In fact, we need to do a couple other things too. I'm yakking away here and I'm not. So the rule is, like in real life, the rule is aviate, navigate, communicate. And that is the order that you do things when you have a conflict. If you have to do two things at once, you just go to that order. So Glasgow is going to be 129575. 129575. 129575. 575, put that in right there. Yeah, Saint, they're creepy. It makes you wonder how people survive them. All right, so we've got so runway 5 left is where we're going to be coming in, and that is 110.10. Both of those set. You can tell how often I fly this route. 110, and our magnetic for runway 5 is going to be 049. So we'll get these set. And tail gunner in anything is scary. It's just a great view, but a little bit vulnerable. All right, so we'll go right here. 049. And right over here, 049. So, and we're also going to set our altitude now. In fact, I can do that right here. We set our altitude for 2,000 feet because the FMC is keeping us at 30,000. And if we set this to 2,000, as soon as we get to top of descent, then VNAV will automatically begin flying us down. So, and then the last one we have is right here. And we're going to set this to 049. I can find it. There it is, 049. 049, right. Memphis Belle's a great movie. It's got something for everybody. All right, so if we go to arrivals in Glasgow, we are going to be arriving on the, what did we say? The Arrival 1G? Arrival 1G. So if we go here, Arrival 1G. All right, so there's Arrival. And we're about, I'd say about 30 miles from Arrival. Yep, there it is right there. So we'll cross Arrival. See if we can make this a little bigger. We'll cross Arrival. We'll be flying on approximately 333. And right here, this little racetrack right here, this is a hold, right? So when we go in the FMS, and we go to the hold page right here, it's going to ask us where we want to hold at. We're going to tell it Lima Alpha November Alpha Kilo. Right there. And we want to be on, our radial is going to be southeast. 1, 2, 3. So we'll Sierra Echo / 1, 2, 3. Put that in right there, and that'll fly us on a course of, we'll get to Lannick, and then we'll turn to fly a course of 1, 2, 3. we're going to make right turns, right? And our leg distance will be 4 miles. So we put this in, right? And it'll calculate all this out. And we execute that. And now when we go back to our route, back to our legs, when we get to Rival, we should go right into that hold. And I didn't know how complicated that was going to be, but I didn't want to try it for the first time on the service. I wanted to try it offline. So I did. Hang on. Nope. Passed. Thought I was going to sneeze. And as far as entering the hold, essentially you just fly to the waypoint. It puts you in the hold. When you're ready to leave the hold, press exit. Next time around, out you go. And then we'll fly vector down to, what do we say, the Golf Oscar Whiskey is our transition. Vectors, and then turn for the ILS intercept. I say all this like I know what I'm talking about. I really don't. I've been doing this a few months. Right. So we're almost at top of descent. I don't have a PA on this aircraft. I have one on the Zebo. It's fantastic. You can make all the announcements, but I don't have that here. So right there, TD is top of descent, and we are configured. Altitude is set. EPR mode will go to climb. Transponder will set to below. Engine sync will turn off. Seatbelts will come on. Okay, easy enough. And I will mix it up a little bit. I need to get back in the Zebo mod and fly that a little bit in stream. And also I want to test out those other aircraft. I've been flying the 757, the 767. I went with those two specifically because they do have the shared cockpit concept. So if you learn the flow from one cockpit, it transfers over to the other, even though they're a little bit different size planes. And the same with the A319 and the A321. They have a shared cockpit methodology. So if you can learn the flow for one, you pretty much know the flow for the other one. And I think it'll be a nice comparison as well. This plane is so analog and clunky. And then the Boeing are an upgrade from there, even though they're from sort of the same era. This MD80 that we're in, the 757 and the 767 all flew around 1980 for the first time. But the Boeing seem a lot more sophisticated as far as electronics and control systems. So we will fly those. And then the Airbus is, I don't know, they're just fun planes to fly. I really didn't know how small the A319 was. I knew it was like a kind of a, I don't know, bigger than a commuter jet, but it was like, I don't know, a little, almost like a regional aircraft. But it's tiny. It's much smaller than a 737. So we'll fly that as well. And then the A320, 321 now, the Neo, is just classic. So we'll fly that too. But yeah, I'm really liking this. I stumbled into it. I got Microsoft Flight Simulator 20 for the channel. I wouldn't say it was the only reason I got it. I mean, I did want to do some sim flying. But I got it because of the channel. Disappointed with it on day one, as a lot of people were. And as I was watching YouTubers, the consensus was, it's fun for general aviation. It's fun to fly around and look at your house, but it's not great for commercial jets. And are we? Yep, there we go. So we passed Rival. We're on the way to Niska. And we'll be at the hold momentarily. So what I was hearing over and over was, it's super fun for GA, but it's not great for commercial aviation. That is still X-Plane. And it's like, X-Plane? Wait a minute. I have X-Plane. What do you mean? But I had only ever flown the base aircraft. So this airplane, the MD80, is in base game, but it doesn't have, like in this aircraft, in this mod aircraft, payware, whatever, every dial, every switch, everything is replicated. And I'd say in base game, it's probably more like 20 or 30%. It's not dumbed down. It's just not as sophisticated. Same as the 737 that's in base game versus the Zebo 737 that we fly. So once you get into payware, or the Zebo is free, unbelievable that aircraft is free. But once you get into add-ons, it really just kind of blows the game up. And again, I'd never thought of using VATSIM, but the ATC in Flight Simulator was so disappointing. that the idea of, I guess developers can't get this sorted out, because you have to think they're trying, right? But it's like AI ATC has not really changed or improved ever, like at all in 35 years of flight sim. They just never figured it out. So it's got to be difficult to do it. And Flight Simulator 20 was supposed to have some kind of integration where you could... Rudest Highway Killer. I don't even know what that is. It sounds intriguing, though. They tried to integrate real-world flight information. So you can go to FlightAware and you can see every plane that's in the air in the world. That isn't like MI6 or something. I don't think those have the transponder turned on. But you can see every active transponder in the world. And I guess they were going to try to integrate that, but it's too big an ask, right? Because I look at the complexity of like VATSIM controllers trying to land sim aircraft, or real controllers for that matter, trying to kind of blend everything together. Oh, I got to look that up. I'm not even familiar with that, Saint. I thought I knew all things truck sim. I've never even heard of this. Okay, I will definitely check that out. Oh yeah, just trying to blend it all together, and the fact that the things that you're trying to blend together are sort of non-linear. People can be random; they make mistakes. So I think it requires a person to do it. And the other thing is, if you're going to try to blend sim traffic with real traffic, in sim, you can tell another sim pilot to wait. But if you're going to blend the two, you can't tell a real pilot to wait for a sim pilot, even if you've given that sim pilot clearance to, like, I don't know, taxi and wait or something like that. W900 and 389? Well, now I have to look. You know how I love the 389. All right, I'm very curious. So that's what got me to VATSIM, is the fact that I realized that there was not going to be any type of meaningful AI ATC. I think at the moment it just can't be done. I mean, it could probably be done on like a Department of Defense budget. But as far as, getting your investment back or building something that can run on a typical consumer PC without roasting the processor, we're just not there yet. So I wouldn't say VATSIM is the next best thing. I would say VATSIM is like the thing. And we're descending, by the way, too. I've been kind of looking out the left side window, looking at chat, but we are descending. And we'll be there. I mean, we're not, if I zoom this out. Yep, we're not far at all. 50 miles. Oh, I don't use the Facebooks. I don't do the Facebook. I'll track it down via Google. Yeah, I stay away from Facebook, the evil empire. All right, and we can turn these up as well. A little light in here. And I hope I don't screw this up. You may have noticed a theme. I really do. It's not that I get embarrassed. I just know that, yeah, it's pretty rotten. I'm continuing to have problems with Google YouTube. I can't buy anything on YouTube. I'm trying to join Flight Deck to Sim. I'm trying to join their private channel. It's $5 a month. I can't do it. So I finally got Google customer support, and they're like, "Oh, we need to verify you." I'm like, "Man, verify this? How long have I had accounts with you? Come on now." So I looked, and I have active subscriptions. Like, I'm buying stuff from them. I have added space on Google Drive and various other things. Like, I'm already buying things from them, and they're telling me we have to verify you before you can buy anything. And I think, you know what? I'll take my business elsewhere. And then you realize you can't get away from Google, even if you personally don't want to use it. Every time somebody sends you a Google Sheet or a Google Doc, right? YouTube, if you want to be logged into YouTube, you can't just quit Google, and they know it. And I think it's one of the reasons that their customer support is so bad. So, and I'll tell you something else. If you want to, when you're watching the VOD of my streams, you can turn on closed captioning, and it's, I'd say, probably 85 to 90% accurate. as far as recognizing speech, but there's not a complex sound palette right now. It's just one person talking. So it's fairly easy to do voice recognition. And of course, Google does that. I have a Google Nest device that I just talk to, and it generally understands everything I say. So I've been wondering, because I cannot pretend that I'm not snagged at 950. The channel in 3 years went from 0 to 950 in virtually a straight line. And then it has absolutely plateaued at 950, just below where I could actually begin making money with this. And I wonder sometimes, right? Because Google scans I say Google YouTube. They scan every single video that gets posted. They do. So it does make me wonder. I mean, I posted a video that I made from Dirt Rally 2.0. Yeah, that one. The one with is there a Y? Is there an I? I posted a video from Dirt Rally 2.0. It was just very short, but it was Jussi Björling singing Nessun Dorma, right? And I got the copyright notice probably 10 seconds after I uploaded it, including the time that it took for the email to hit my inbox. I'm not even joking. That's how quickly and how efficiently they scan these videos that we post. So I wonder if the algorithm, worst case scenario would be some poor soul somewhere got an email that was like, hey, we got an alarm. We got triggered by this video content. The Portable Gamer is constantly shit-talking YouTube. Take a look at his videos for us. And they took a look and were like, oh yeah? Well, here's what we got for you. And somebody went and typed in 950, enter. And my channel will be permanently parked at 950 subs until I apologize. We'll see. That's possible. I'm not ruling it out. All right, so we're just about 20,000 feet. And I think, yep, there's Atlantic. There's the airport, by the way, too. It's amazing how quickly they scan for content. Oh, see, I was just about to say it's how quickly they scan for content, and they seem to catch everything, but, and then I was going to say the thing they don't seem to be able to get a handle on, but I remembered not to, because it's not that kind of channel. Yeah, Saint, I have a license with Epidemic. It's the easiest thing. I tried several other fixes, and I finally just grit my teeth. I think it's about $200 a year for my license, but it's just unlimited. They've got probably 15 channels on Spotify, maybe 20, and then they've got another 10 or so that rotate. And that's what's always on in the background now. No copyright problems whatsoever. Totally seamless. And the music's not the best, I have to admit. It sounds a little bit like a video poker machine sometimes, but what are you going to do, right? I don't know that there's anything better other than individually licensing songs from ASCAP or something, but ain't nobody got time for that. And I certainly don't have the money for that. All right, so we're coming up on our hold. This software fascinates me because this plane flew first time in 1980. So this software and the plane is entirely accurate to that technology. So what it does in the sim is what this plane did in real life. And it's pretty amazing what they could do back in the day. 747 is even more amazing because they built that thing in the 60s. Come on now. All right, so right down here, just coming into the top of the PFD, you can see this little racetrack up here. And if I did everything right, I hope we'll just fly right in there. If I didn't, nothing's going to happen. Oh, there it is. Hold Atlantic. I love it. And I guess when they model these aircraft, because I've seen people stream videos of the Airbus 300, and I guess when they build these planes, they don't make them. They don't make it okay because it's a 2020 or a 2021 sim. They make the plane fly as badly as it did in 1974 or whenever. And I really, really like that accuracy. The things are difficult, cumbersome, problematic, whatever term you want to use. If it sucked in the 70s, it sucks in the sim in the 2020s. And I love that level of detail. And honestly, I think it's why I'm kind of drawn to this plane, because it is a bit of a bucket, All right, so let's go EPR climb, because we are getting down to altitude here. EPR climb, transponder to below, and right like that. And 3027, we just got our ATIS from Glasgow, 3027. Now, they want us arriving on runway 23, but we're going to... Let me see what the wind is. I hope this isn't problematic. Let's see what the wind is. EGPF. Weather. Oh, yeah, it's fine. Variable at 1 knot, so they'd be landing us on 5. The software decided 23, but we'd be on runway 5. Okay. So 3027 when we cross 6,000 feet. Oh, right on. Full Tilt Gaming. No, I've never seen it. I've never seen it. I'll have to check it out. What was I doing? ATIS just came in. That's right. Engine sync off. So we'll come up here. If I can find it. There it is. Engine sync off. Seatbelt sign on. And really, I should have done this before we started descending. So I was a little bit lax there. All right. Transponder, cabin pressure, landing elevation set. Engine sync off. All right. And we'll set the altimeter when we cross. See if it's on our... See if it's on our chart here. Transition level by air traffic control. So typically when they give you the Q&A, oh, don't worry, Saint, we're offline. I don't sweat it when we're offline. I am genuinely concerned though about concentrating when we're on the service. And I think I may not talk a lot. So I don't know if that's going to make for a good video or not, right? So this says translevel by ATC, and I think when they give you QNH, which in our case would be 3023, that is them essentially telling you that is your transition altitude. Because I gave you QNH, because I gave you pressure, go ahead and set that now. Right, and go down here. We're just about to get to our hold. How cool is that? If you can see that. Yep. And we should just fly right into it. I was properly geeking out when that worked for me. And I mean, there is still a lot to learn. One of the pilots that I follow, he's a real pilot, IRL pilot, but I think he said he's got 5,000 hours of flying real commercial airliners. So his comms are so smooth and so, and it's been, I guess I did my first flight about 8 days ago on VATSIM. And I was knees weak, palms sweaty, the whole deal. The first time I hit the button and spoke on an open mic. And it's weird because I've never had a problem speaking on an open mic to all of you, right? I don't know what the difference is. It's just that performance anxiety. You want everything to be perfect. You don't want to be doing something that everybody else is doing and doing it badly. All right, so altimeter set. Landing lights left and right. I'm going to wait till we come out of the hold to turn those on. We'll just do one circuit. And I think, yep, we should go right in there. Yeah, it could be. And I swear, man, some of those people are, well, I've seen enough people say, yes, they are real pilots. Or the people that I follow, the YouTubers that I follow, I know they're real pilots. They are, most definitely real pilots. In fact, I think if we go over here, it's going to give us a better angle. I'll look at that with the sunset. I love it. I know they are real pilots, and I'm told that. I haven't had anybody tell me this personally, but I'm told that a lot of the controllers are real ATC as well. I mean, some of them you can tell they're not because they're kids. It's some 12-year-old barking at me, but that's all right. You know, you got to pay your dues. So I know there are professionals mixed in, and it is definitely very very intimidating. And it's just a cool profession, both of them, ATC and commercial pilots. They're so cool, right? They're so cool, you know, walking through the airport with their little rolling carry-on bag, and I think that's a profession that most people look at and think, yeah, it'd be fun to do that. That would be really cool. So to be trying to do what those people are doing as well as they're doing it, definitely intimidating. All right, and I got the camera all set. We're waiting back here for our turn. I hope we make it. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Thank you, game. That's twice tonight. I thought the game was going to just crap all over me, and it came through. Look at this, man. It's such a fantastic time to be in sim gaming right now. I am so, so happy. Oh, flying over the lights down there. Oh. Oh, right on. Thanks, Owen. I appreciate you, brother. Yeah, either I gave him the wrong password or I put a space in or something. Or there's some problem, but I believe Saint and Fried were able to get in. So I think my methodology is set up properly. I just screwed up when I cut and pasted it for him. But if you get to it first, I appreciate it. If not, I'll do it as soon as I'm done with the stream. Oh, I'm really liking this. Oh, is that right down here? There's like an emergency vehicle. You can see the beacons flashing. Are you kidding me? Oh, game. I mean, it's not as pretty as Flight Simulator 20, but it's a pretty good looking game. And I'm not running any ortho. I'm not running any additional scenery or tiles or anything. No terrain mesh. This is all just straight game with active sky. Windows update. Oh. I mean, that's the new way. It's never going away. It's never going to stop. But oh, hello. Thanks for those clouds. But I have to say I do appreciate it, because back in the before times, if something shipped broken, it just stayed broken. Maybe there'd be a service pack for it, but I love that it's that Windows can continually update. It's a pain in the ass, but I love it. All right, cool. Let me know how it works out, Saint, and I'll be done. I'll be done here. Well, you'll know when I'm done because I'll sign off. But I think probably another 15 minutes till we're on the ground. No, a little bit less than that, because we're going to exit our hold right now. That's a hold, by the way. And if we look on the FMS, we're going to tell this to, we're going to go to hold, exit armed, execute. And when we go back here, exit at Atlantic. Beautiful. I don't know, man. I'm really, really impressed with Payware Aircraft. A lot more than I was with anything for Flight Sim. Now, in fairness, Flight Sim was new, and I guess there have been a lot of things added as far as payware and freeware since I uninstalled. I think it needs another 6 months. Yeah, exactly. Man, I wouldn't say that I get like mad or frustrated or anything. I just get so gripped sometimes. I feel a lot of almost anxiety about things working a certain way. I got to get past that, man. I got to let go. Oh, this is beautiful right here. I love it. So as soon as we get back on, we won't be quite on our original course, which was like 333 or something. But as we get turned around here back on course toward Atlantic, I will go ahead and flip the lights on, because we're under 10,000 feet. They really should be on anyway. but I didn't want to have them on when we were in the hold, just because you don't want to blind anybody. Well, I mean, you might want to. You just, you probably shouldn't. All right, and I'm going to take a look here. If we look on our chart, yeah, I mean, we're not 100% accurate to where this is marked, but I don't know that this is 100% accurate itself. I mean, it's a map, so it can't be like totally a free-for-all, but I don't know that. I mean, I think this hold may be more of an indication of the type of hold, as far as, enter from left to right, 4 miles on the legs, that sort of thing. But yeah, and I think we're just about done with this one. Yeah, because once we pass Lanark, we're all the way down to GOW. Okay, so we'll get rid of this, and the next one we'll open will be Arrivals. Not Arrivals, Approach. And our approach is going to be Cat 2, Cat 3, ILS, runway 5. So we're coming in from Lanark, which is right out here somewhere. Hey, Caden, how you doing? Coming in from right out here somewhere, and we're going to fly to essentially right over the runway threshold, and then we're going to turn. But what I'm going to do is when we exit, just as soon as we exit, I'm going to turn on 270, which is what ATC put me on the last couple times I flew this leg. That's what we're supposed to say in the biz. Flew this leg. They put me on 270 just past Lanark, continue descending, and then make the big turn into ILS intercept. So that is what we'll do. We'll level out here. Landing lights on. Nose lights on. Caden, at the moment, I do not have ATC, but this will be the last flight that we're doing without it. I wanted to practice one more time, and from here on out, everything will be VATSIM anytime we fly in the live stream. All right, ignition switch both. That is right there. Hydraulic pump transfer and hydraulic auxiliary on. These are so little. Right down here. Speed brake, arm, flaps extended. We're not going to do that quite yet. So, and I did build a button box in Stream Deck. You can't see it, unfortunately, but I have a whole button box that essentially, so this is the MCP, which is the mode control panel. Essentially, this entire MCP is replicated in a Stream Deck button box top that I built. So this is putting us on... I want to call that about 290. And I'm going to take this over to 270. Right, so to do that, we're going to go on heading select. Right, and then, nope, easy. And then swing this over to 270. There we go. And we're still on VNAV, so we're still descending. But we're going to need to bring our speed down at some point. So what I'll do is come off of VNAV. So LNAV is linear navigation. That's left and right as far as your turns and staying on course. VNAV is vertical navigation. It's how quickly you go up and down, when, and how fast you're going. So right now we're on VNAV. That's this right here. But when we go to vertical speed, what it will do is hold our vertical speed at whatever we dial it in at. So when we select vertical speed, now it's going to continue descending us at 800 feet per minute, but that also puts us on speed. So rather than VNAV, we're on vertical speed over here, descending at 800 feet per minute, and our speed is 231. So we're going to slow our speed down to 220, which is typically the speed that you would fly through the approach. Thank you, Mr. Gates. I wonder what he gets for every for every edition of Windows that gets sold. I wonder what he gets. I wonder if it's like a musician from the 1980s or something that gets like 53 cents every time you play Never Gonna Give You Up. You know, one of those deals. All right, so let's take us down to So if we look here, we're going to DD, I'm sorry, just Delta. Delta 206, so if we look at the FMS, Delta 206, we want to be at 2,400 feet. So if we go, we can't go 2,400. We'll just stop it at 2,400. And we can also start throwing out some laundry here pretty soon. Bring that in. Been good so far. All right. So it's 5 degrees flaps. Now what I'm trying to do right now is everything that ATC has told me to do when I've flown this approach. So we're off RNAV right now. RNAV is this magenta line to our right that we're no longer flying on. So RNAV sort of gets you to the transition, and then ATC vectors you from there. So I'm trying to fly as well as I can remember the vectors that they put me on yesterday. Owner of an F1 corporation during a working day. Are you talking about Formula One? All right, we'll go flaps 11. And wheels. Gear down 300 knots, so we're fine. We can throw the gear down anytime we want, and we will do that right now. Gear down. And 3 green. Gears down so we can go to the pedestal. We can arm auto brakes. Set and arm. Sir. Sir. Really? All right. Well, I can't keep messing with that. I got to fly the airplane. Oh, shit. All right. So if we get that blinking again, I'll have to turn off strobe lights. And in fact, as bad as this weather is, I'm going to turn strobe lights off regardless, because that will keep blinking. Let me try this one more time. I don't know why. All right, we'll try when we get some more flaps out. I don't know why that's happening. So we're at 3,000 feet. Let's go ahead and slow down to 200 knots, because we don't. This turn is going to put us. I mean, we'll be okay, but we won't be that far from the ILS. Yeah. So if we had strobes on right now, we'd be getting that effect. Can't have that, which is meant to replicate something that happens in real life. All right, making our turn. Here we go. All right, there is 2,400. More flaps. And I'm going to try the auto brake one more time. I don't know what's going on. Yep, unknown why that is not cycling. Flaps, speed brake, unknown. All right. Well, we'll just hope for the best. All right, so if we go here now, we're going to make one more turn to 058 or thereabouts. I don't think it's glitched. Everything is recreated so faithfully. It typically means that I have not done something that I need to be doing. And because I haven't done it, it's not allowing that next phase of the landing to continue. So it's like a lot of technology. If there's a problem, it's your fault. All right, so we are below the glide slope right now. I'm going to wait until I'm going to go on Vorlock, which is right there. Flaps Take the speed down to 180. And we'll see how this weather works. We'll hope for the best, man. I hope I don't stuff it. After all this, I hope I don't stuff it. All right. Let's try these one more time. Okay. So I think we just needed to have landing flaps. Just needed to have landing flaps deployed. Did we lose the stream? God, I hope not. Nope, it says we're doing all right. My preview died. All right. Oh, and we just... Shit. Grab ILS, please. There we go. Does not want to grab it. All right. Hang on. And my stream just locked and I'm not flying the plane. Yeah, it says we're well above. Oh, here we go. It says we're well above, and we really need to be descending like right now. This is a terrible, terrible time to lose the preview. I hope we're still streaming. I don't know if we are or not. And we'll slow down. Yeah, we're well above where we want to be. Oh, this is going to be dicey. 2.5 miles out, no visibility. Come on now. And we're going to fail on the glide slope. Oh God, the weather. Are you kidding me? Now it says we're too low. We might have to go around. Oh, no, no, no. All right, going off autopilot.
Too high.
Yeah,
Too high.
yep. Hang on. All right, we're going around. Cover your ears. All right, gear up. Some of these in. For some reason, it did not grab the ILS. Did not grab the ILS and didn't allow us to continue the landing. Okay. So speed brakes off. The visibility was terrible, though. We were down so low and still did not have any visibility on the runway. All right. No worries. Why are we... Oh, hang on. Still on ILS. Okay. So we've got vertical speed now. We've got speed to 200. All right. Flaps are retracted. Turn lights off. We'll make a 180 here. And just fly right back where we were and try it again. All right. And we want to be, let's go 3,000 feet. All right, here we go, making our turn. And we're still, yep, configuration is still good up here. Okay. Yeah, it's. I think sometimes the fact that I use active sky. I mean, I want the weather to be completely accurate, and it is. When the weather's terrible, it is. It's terrible. Uh, Let me see. 50 and 180 would be 230. So we want let's fly 230. And this is not procedural at all. ATC would be, if I declared a missed approach, ATC would be vectoring to, well, there's specific procedures for, let's see if we can go here. Specific procedure here coming out the other end. This is your missed approach. So you're going to fly out, make a right turn, and then I believe this would be your hold right here. Maybe, I don't know. But anyway, there are specific procedures for missed approach, and we're not on one right now. But in fairness, we don't have ATC, so we can sort of do whatever we want. All right, and we want. I don't know why the ILS didn't grab. That's really. We've got 110, 110. Let me just confirm all this. I mean, I know we already did, but it can't hurt to do it again. No. Come on. So here. There we go. 110, decimal 0 on both sides. 110, decimal 0, 110, decimal 0. Yep, got that set. Okay. I mean, we'll just go around and try to make the most of it. And I'm going to need to hop over here, open Avatab again. I'm just going to use the regular map. It's not a chart or anything. It's just a regular map. But we can turn on ILS. And see where the end of the... Come back. See where the end of the cone is. Out here over the Firth. All right, so we'll go out past this point and then make our turn. All right. Yeah, he's messing with the altimeter. Was it the second one, third one? I don't remember. Oh, we've got this ILS is giving us a distance as well. Okay. You know, I've made this flight uneventfully so many times, and it figures this would happen today. I do think, though, we're going to come out of the clouds. I mean, when we get on ILS, that's better because we know our glide slope will be safe and manageable. But I think the reason, and we may actually get a terrain warning out here momentarily. I think the reason you fly this approach the way you do is because of the terrain. And there are some foothills that you need to stay above. So I think that's what where some of the drama comes from, that they have you turn on to the runway heading so late. So we can bump this out. I've had ATC continually turn me to the runway heading, typically like, I don't know, I'd say 7 to 9 miles out. And I'm used to more like 20 miles, 15 miles, 18 miles, where you really have a lot of time to let the software grab the ILS and really get you established on the localizer. So if you look right here, this is a little green bar on the right that is rising. That's our glide slope. When it passes the center, that indicates we are on glide slope. So we're at 3,000 feet, 8 miles out. That puts us right on glide slope. So for us to come in, yeah, that could be the problem. We came in at 2,400 feet at 8 miles, so we were probably under the glide slope. It could be why ILS didn't grab it. Farm Sim Gaming, how you doing? Welcome back. But no matter. I mean, it's good practice, and I don't mind the go-arounds. They do. It seems like a buzzkill, but I don't. I'd say I don't mind them. It's good practice, and it's solving problems. You know, and I never mind doing that. All right, so take a look at our map here. I think we're just going to flip 180, and yeah, we're very nearly at the edge of the ILS. We're about, let's wait till we're 15 miles out, just so nothing goes wrong. There's those cotton ball clouds again. If we turn the strobes on, you get that effect. It's overdone. I feel like it's sort of a lazy graphic because it's basically just flashing black and white on and off. But the first time that happened, I mean, there are other planes that do it better. I guess every plane can have their own sort of version of that. There are other planes that I think do it a little bit better than the rotate. But if you come across that random flashing, that's what's causing it, is you've got your strobe lights on in clouds, which is a problem in real life. And they do tell you, if your strobes are flashing in clouds, turn your strobes off. But I don't think it's the most graceful effect. All right, let's make our turn here. We're going to turn 90 degrees first. Start getting some flaps out. Arm speed brakes. Engines are already set. We're going to start slowing down to 175. And we are below the glide slope right now. That's a good place to be. And we'll continue turning to 049 or thereabouts. And let the ILS grab it. Still 15 miles out. Yeah, I'm feeling better about this.
Altimeter setting.
Altimeter setting? What are you talking about? 3027. All right. There you go. It's 3027. All right, so we're lined up, and I believe we can go Vorlock from all the way out here. Yeah, 15 miles is not too far, so there's Vorlock. All right, let's see if that grabs it. Yep, it does. Okay, so we're good there. Speed is good. Gear down. Better. Get under this stuff, man. I don't want to be up there. And if we're establishing on the localizer, are we? If we're establishing on the localizer, I'll grab ILS. It's this. So we got two. We got one is Vorlock up top. That's lateral, and then ILS includes the glide slope. So look, in the center PFD right here, this little magenta triangle is moving to the center. That's indicating that we're lining up with the runway lengthwise. So we'll go ahead and grab ILS. And that will fly us straight down to the piano keys. In theory, it will. Gear is down and locked. Flaps are in takeoff position, so that means we can come to the pedestal. Select auto brake, and it does stay armed. Okay, so we'll know that for future references. Auto brakes will not arm unless the flaps are in landing position. All right, and so as we cross now, it should... As we cross the glide slope, yeah, it should begin taking us down. That's what we were waiting for before, and it never happened. Now we're going to slow down to 150 knots. And then we're also going to take a look on the FMS for descent. And we want, where's our VREF speed? Sir. Approach. 129 knots. Okay, so we want to touch down about 129. And let's turn some lights on here. Did this out of sequence and I've forgotten everything. Ignition switch is on. Hydraulic pumps are still both on. Speed brake is armed. Flaps landing. Nose light bright. Gear down. Green lights. Auto brake selector minimum and armed. And that's us good. Okay. It does have cabin view. It's going pretty good. I have to say it's been really smooth until the last 5 minutes, which is true of a lot of things in life. I didn't have any problems until I started having problems. It's amazing how often that happens. But I think we'll be okay. We're on ILS right now and just flying down the beam, as they say. Get this straightened out, sir. Really? There we go. Seems like it's a little You know what I'm saying? It seems like it's a little wonky. And I also did configure my flight stick now so I can disable auto throttle and autopilot from the flight stick, so I don't have to take my hand off the flight stick as we cross the point in the approach where I want to hand fly. Because what I was doing before is I had to let go of the flight stick at like the most critical moment so I could hand fly it, and we don't have to do that now. I can just hand fly it with disconnection from the flight stick. All right, there's 5 miles. Man, I don't know when we're coming out of this stuff. It's going to be super, super low, though. We're going to see the runway like a couple 100 feet before we get to it. There's the cotton ball. Beautiful. All right, there's 4 miles. Oh, man. 1,300 feet. Oh, I couldn't imagine doing this in real life. I mean, people do this in real life every day. I would be out of my mind, man. It's a desktop simulator, and I'm having kind of a fit. Oh, there it is. There it is. Oh, no. False alarm. 3 miles. Yeah, it's brutal. 1,000 feet. 3 miles. Come on, game. Two and a half miles. 800 feet. Oh, there you go. Thank you, sweet baby Jesus. 2 miles. That's perfect. Here we go. Come on off autopilot.
Autopilot.
Here we go. And one thing I didn't do is I didn't open the chart for Glasgow as far as taxiways, but I need to get in the habit of doing that because, and again, I've flown into this airport several times in the past few days, so I know it. But what we would be doing is exiting to the right down at the end of the runway. We'll do that today. In fact, we'll taxi all the way to the gate. A little bit of a crosswind. Can't say I'm loving that. Little flare. Oh, didn't even spill my drink. Who's this guy? Nose gears down. And reversers. Oh. All right, 100 knots. $80 knots. Coming off the reversers. All right. Bringing in the flaps. Speed brakes. Let's get slowed down here. So you got to, particularly with VATSIM events, you got to vacate the runway absolutely as soon as possible. So we're going to do that. And I want to say there's only cargo and maintenance on the left side of the runway, so you always exit to the right. And I believe the procedure is you get off the runway, you get to this point right here, and then stop. And we're going to do a couple more quick things here. We're going to disarm the auto brake. We're going to go up top. Turn those lights off, dim those lights. We're going to turn the starters off because we don't need those. And get the APU going. There's that. Landing lights, position lights, transponder to standby. I believe that will be barking at ATC. So you have to put this on standby once you've landed. Don't need it anymore. Speed brake is retracted. Ice protection meter. You can do this while you're rolling, but we don't have anybody behind us, so I'm not going to sweat it. Flight director off, that's right here. And weather radar off as well, and then we can continue taxiing. Typically, as soon as your wheels hit the runway... sir. What? Wait, don't turn those off. Why'd that go off? All right, I don't know why our FMS just turned off, but I mean, we don't need it, but... just curious. All right. So everything that I just did, you can do while you're taxiing. And as soon as you hit the runway, particularly when it's busy, they're telling you exit right and where they want you to go from there and what frequency to tune for ground. So I just need to get in the habit of having that chart open so I can see where it is that I can turn, see where it is that I'm supposed to turn, and immediately turn. And then right now is when we'd be doing the rest of this stuff. I don't know. Oh, there's our FMC. I don't know why that turned off. And we do have... Okay, so the APU is up. And I think, yep, dim, ignition, ice protection. Oh, we can turn all these off. Engine ice is off. Windshield defrost and anti-ice is off. Okay. And that's it. Next thing we need to do is turn off the nose lights when we pull into parking. So we go here, back here, airports. We can close this now. And we can open airport. Yeah, it's always the way. Hang on. I'm not steering because I'm trying to move my tablet. All right, let's bring this back up here. And we want, we need two of them. We need airport info is going to be our taxiways. There we go. So this is us right here. There's only two places to exit the runway when you land on runway 5. All the way down at the end is Alpha, and then the next one back from that is Bravo. We exited on Bravo, and they can't give clearance to the flight behind you to either take off or land until you've exited the runway. So it really is a courtesy to get off the runway absolutely as quick as possible. And even if it's just a few hundred feet between one and the next one, 10 seconds is 10 seconds. It adds up. So definitely vacate as soon as you can. So that is taxiway. We're on Alpha right now. And then if we go here, the other thing is parking stands. And we're going to come in on Alpha. And let's just go up Lima and see what's available. With ATC, they keep track of what stands have static aircraft on it. Like, I don't know, what would you call those? Display aircraft. They don't do anything. They're just there to make the airport look full. Between those and the ones with other sim pilots on them, they find one that's open and generally try to guide you right to that. And we should be... Where are we at? Yeah, we're just about to make the turn here. So this is... What's that sign say? This has got to be Kilo. Yep, that's Kilo. And then Golf is going to be to our right. They're calling this the domestic pier. So I think if we go in here and what's that say? It says this is Lima right here. So if we go in here to the domestic pier and then make any right turn, anything that's open on the right, looks like there's one down there. I think that would be appropriate. Yep, there's one right in the middle. So we can get rid of this now. Turn these off so we don't... Off, I said. There we go. The other off. So we don't blind our crew. And we may... if I put it right on the stripe here, we may get a jetway. That would be fantastic. Oh, look at that. All right. Set the parking brake. Did it set? There we go. Parking brake is set, so we want to now go on APU power and cut the fuel. And that's going to spool down the engines, and we can bring the jetway over. Oh, beautiful. Sit right there. On the move. Okay. So we go here now. Parking brake set, fuel valve both closed. High pressure bleed both off. Fuel pumps all off except right rear. That's that one right there. Hydraulic pumps 1 and 2 both low. Right down here. Transpump and auxiliary off. Can do. Anti-collision lights off. Seatbelts off. All right. And request GPU. Yep. So we'll go down here. That's our cart power. So we'll go on cart power. There we go. APU power off, left and right. APU off. Start pump off. Aft right fuel pump off. That's right there. Transponder off. That's back here. Turn that off. Hydraulic pumps 1 and 2 off. Emergency exit lights off. No smoking signs off. Seatbelts off. Were they not? All right. Galley power is off. Anti-ice, anti-fog off. IRS mode. Both of these will turn off. Yaw damper. Logo light. Radio stack. Dim the PFDs. It's right here. Dim the FMS. That's right here. Dim the FMS. And that's it. You turn my flashlight on here. All right. So we're going to dim the instrument lights. It's right there. Dim the dome lights. That's right there. Go up top. Dim these lights. Right there and right there. Come back here. External power bus left and right, both off. Dismiss GPU, like so. Power cart's gone. Position lights off. And battery off. I'm telling you, man, this is autistic crack. If you're on the spectrum, get yourself a flight sim. It soothes your mind. Beautiful. And that is us, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Glasgow. Now get out. That's what a real Glaswegian would tell you. I know. I lived there. All right. That's all I got. Thanks, everybody. How'd we do? 2.5 hours. It's not bad. It's not bad. So we'll do, we'll try to get, I don't know, we'll try to get some, maybe we'll do some multiplayer tomorrow. If we can get everybody on board with the sim. Ernie, I will hop on right now and make sure that everything is working for you. And we'll, let's do some farm sim tomorrow, either solo or MP. And then probably the truck the day after. What's tomorrow? Friday? Yeah, we'll do the truck on Saturday. I don't know what we'll do on Sunday. There you go. There you have it. X-Plane. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for checking out the stream. I do appreciate you. FSMP. All right. Let's see if we can make that happen between now and tomorrow. We'll try to set it up. First thing we'll do is we'll get Ernie going, and we'll see if we can... I mean, all I did was give myself $500,000 and buy a Lamborghini. So, you know. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Farm sim one way or the other, whether it's solo or MP. Thanks. Good night.